Joining us now on the Megacast is one of over 300 charities and nonprofits supported on the Share Detroit platform. Thomas Wencel is the founder of Jaime's Kids and joins us now on the Megacast. Thank you very much for being with us today, Thomas.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Glad to have you on. First off, for those that may not be familiar with your organization, tell us about a little bit of the history as well as the mission of Jaime's Kids.
Okay, well, first of all, Jamie is my daughter who passed away 5 years ago, shortly after giving birth to her fifth child. And Jamie was an unwed single parent. And after a 4.5 year battle with the juvenile court system, we finally got the father's parental rights terminated, and we adopted all five children. We've had them for 5 years, and the ages are Nina's 5 now. She was the baby at that time, and our little boy Caden is 7, and Jenna is 9, and Paige is 11, and our oldest Kara, she's 14. And my wife and I had just retired when our daughter Jamie passed away, and we live in a 2-bedroom house. And so to accommodate the children, we're in the midst of a addition project on our house, a second floor addition, adding two bathrooms with 4 bedrooms. And we've some members of our church founded a nonprofit for us called Jaime's Kids, which helped us get donations and volunteers for our project so far. And we do things with veterans, senior citizens, youth sports organizations, and environmental issues. We sponsor and put on a creek cleanup and rain garden maintenance every year, along with helping senior citizens with summer chores and winter chores and building handicap ramps for veterans and a lot of stuff that we do for the neighborhood and our community.
So Thomas, for those that are watching on our TV outlets, on our streaming outlets, watching even on demand, possibly in the future at civiccentertv.com/megacast, they look over your shoulder there in your shot, and they'll see the Falcon logo from Divine Child. And I understand that the Divine Child community has offered quite a lot of support to you as well as to the family. Can you tell us about that support and how critical that's been on putting this family back together as it currently stands, but also the rest of Jaime's Kids and its mission?
Right, sure. Yeah, they've been really helpful. One of the main things is they really helped us out with tuition support. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to afford going to Divine Child, which is a great school. The faculty and the staff are tremendous. I'm a crossing guard there every morning and a lunch monitor every day at lunch. And but their financial support has been tremendous, and their prayers and their volunteering. We have volunteers from Divine Child coming over to help us with our project, weekly. And without them, we couldn't be to where we're at right now. Great, fantastic. The Divine Child community is a fantastic place to be, and we love being there. It's unbelievable.
Speak to also some of the struggles that you went through along this journey to put this family together as it currently is after what happened with Jaime, and then to overcome that and eventually get to a point where you're helping other people in various ways in the community.
Mm-hmm. Well, before Jaime passed away, my wife and I, we were very active in the community with all those things I mentioned. And when Jaime passed away, obviously losing a daughter, a tremendous burden to a family. And when the grandparents have to raise the kids, that's another burden. And obviously the obvious one's financial. We're on a $40,000 a year fixed income, and without the help of our church, our family, and our community, we couldn't do it. Like there's a saying, it takes a village to raise a child. It couldn't be more true in our situation. We've had the kids in foster care. We thought right away we'd just get the kids, right 5 years ago, and that's not the case. We had to go through a lot to get to where we are now, and to be able to finally adopt them. That was our biggest hurdle, because at any day we knew that these kids could be taken away from us, even though we were the grandparents. We did not have custody of the children. We were strictly foster care parents. And once we overcame that, once we finally adopted them, that took so much of a weight off our shoulders. and allowed us to get back to what we naturally do is, volunteer for the community and help people out. We get a lot of help, financially. We're back into helping the community out and our church. Um, One of the biggest hurdles, and it's not a terrible thing, is technology. Because 5 years ago when I retired, 6 years ago, technology, you could take it or leave it, maybe Facebook or something once in a while. But these kids in school, man, you got to know your stuff. I asked a couple of years ago, I asked one of the teachers if they could put a sticky note in the folder and tell me what I need to do with the kids. They said, "Oh, no, Tom, you go home and go on Google Classroom and no, I don't have time for that. Just leave me a sticky note." And they said, "No, we don't do sticky notes anymore." So, but we've learned technology is a big hurdle. We're still learning a lot about it. It's pretty handy. Once you get the hang of it, I'll tell you, it's very helpful.
Yeah, we've seen, especially over the last several years, given the crises we've gone through as communities here in Michigan and across the world during the pandemic, just how useful technology can be to keeping communities together
Oh,
and keeping families together as well. We're joined by Thomas Wencel. He is the founder of Jaime's Kids with us on today's edition of the Megacast. You can find them in a couple of different places. You go on to Share Detroit's website at sharedetroit.org. Go to their Find a Nonprofit section and search Jaime's Kids, Jaime '(s) Kids, and you'll find more information on their nonprofit organization. You can also find more info on 324 other charities and nonprofits across the Metro Detroit area. You can find out more about Jaime's Kids by going to their website, james5kids.com. That's JAIMES, the number 5 kids.com to learn more information. As you talk about the housing project to get your family into a more adequate space for these 5 kids and your family. And it's making great progress. According to your website, you're about 80% along in that. Just about how far away, of course, 20%, but define that 20% and just how close you are to being able to provide this space for this reunited family. It's such a great story and has done so much to help so many people in our local area.
well, thank you. Yeah, it's been an adventure. It's the project's been going on for over 2.5 years, and it's basically self-funded with donations. We haven't taken out any loans or anything like that, so we don't owe anybody money. And I do a lot of the work myself and my family and friends. And we've had volunteers from the electricians union, the carpenters union, the plumbers union, sheet metal workers union, bricklayers union. We've had so many people that have heard our story, and they get here and they say, well, we heard stories before, but once we got here and talked to you guys and heard about your story, this is really special. We want to be part of it. And we have the exterior about 99% done. And the interior, we got the drywall put up. We're starting the mudding on the drywall, and I'm doing a lot of that. I retired as a union plasterer and drywall finisher, so I've got a little handle on that. But we, oh, my thing fell. My ego, my falcon. But anyway, yeah, we're right now we're at a part right now where we've had some family and friends that are helping us out. We've got your organization. Boy, I'll tell you, the more I learn about it, the more impressed I am about Share Detroit. I look at it every day, and what a great job that they do. And it's like, no, it's so helpful. And I just hope that I can, become a little part of this and this big cog in this big machine. But we are right now. We've had some friends that hooked us up with a registry, and everything can be found on james5kids.com. We're going to be ready for paint hopefully in a couple weeks, and we really didn't anticipate it, but we found out that a major cost is coming up in all your finished products. Your bathtubs and sinks and toilets and flooring and window treatment and doors, and so we're at that point right now, and we're looking halfway decent. Hopefully by Easter we're going to be done with the project. And I have a little analogy I use. Is our project is like a big 8-cylinder engine and a 100-gallon tank of gas. And 2.5 years ago, this thing was a full tank of gas, and this engine was roaring, and after a couple of months, we got down to 50 gallons, and it's roaring, going good. And then 25 starts slowing down, and 10 gallons, and 5 gallons starts sputtering a little bit. And then someone comes along, and they dump 10 gallons of gas in there, and the engine starts going again. And so we look forward to everyone coming over. It's a joy to have people over. It's such a blessing that our community, our church, and our family and friends have come through for us. It's truly amazing. People come here, they say, "Wow, I thought it was a nice thing, but once they get here and they meet the children, meet our family and friends, they say, well, I want to come back and help some more." It's really.
So Thomas, you've talked about a little bit earlier, touched on how some of the people in the community, some of the contractors that have come in and have either volunteered their time or even donated their time to and their expertise to help with these housing projects. They said they've heard about it, but then going in and meeting you and meeting the family and speaking to them, it's really changed their whole perspective on this situation. To speak to how this story and then these efforts have grown over the years since you began this project and work to do what you're doing right now to help support this family.
Yeah, this project, it's a needed project. It's something that we need, but it brings so many people together. It brought my little community around these several blocks together. It brought our whole city together. The building trades industry, it brought them together. It's just been such a nice thing. It's very heartwarming. And when you hear about our story, how these children were left, orphans, and the struggle we had to get final custody, and then the adoption process, and the people that have helped us all along the way. It's just so overwhelming, and the blessings we've had have been tremendous. I mean, I could write a book about all the blessings that we've had, me and my family and our community have things that happen to us. It's so amazing, and it's something that it brings a smile on my face. And people come over here, and we tell them, me and my wife and kids, thank you for coming, thank you, and they say, no, thanks for having us. We're honored to be a part of this project, and that's kind of cool. That brings a kind of a little tear to our eye.
James5kids.com is their website. That's JAIMES, the number 5kids.com, or go to sharedetroit.org and search for Jamie's Kids in their Find a Nonprofit section on the front page of their website. We're joined by Thomas Wencel, the founder of Jamie's Kids, on today's edition of the Megacast. Just a few more minutes with you before we'll have to say goodbye today, Thomas. And so I want to ask too, what sort of impact has this had on Jamie's 5 kids? What have they learned about giving in the community and the impact of a community coming together to help other people?
Yeah, that's a good question, because some of the older kids, we thought maybe they would be kind of embarrassed that they're taking donations or having, but they couldn't be happier. They've helped out through the whole process. When people come over, they wait on them, they hold tools for them, they hand them nails, hand them pieces of wood. Uh, they see this project coming along, and when we first started this project, we had 100 volunteers that Saturday, and like 50 of them were from Divine Child. And the house got built in like 2 days. The shell was up and the roof was on. So I said, "Well, this is like one of them television shows you see." We had tables and tables of donated food in our neighbor's driveway, and I said, "This is like one of the programs where they build a house in a week or something." I wish it would have, but it, it was kind of a blessing to take so long, because so many more people got involved. People that we never even would have thought about reaching out to. I've heard about the stories, complete strangers that came over, and the kids welcomed them, and they love the kids, and the kids are seeing this as people giving, and they don't complain one time when I ask them, or they say we want to do something for someone else. Um, we just got done building a handicap ramp in our city for a veteran, and they're always right like that to volunteer to pick up the rake and rake leaves for senior citizens and disabled people. And it's just they're they've gone through a lot. I mean, without doubt, without saying, I mean, they've lost both of their parents basically. And for them to have the attitude that they have, the spirit that they have, they see what good is there out there in the community, and it has a major impact on them. And I hopefully it carries on for the rest of their lives. You know.
Well, Thomas, we appreciate you joining us, telling us your story, giving some insight into the journey that your family has taken and your community has taken, and of course, giving us more information in case people would like to get involved themselves and help you in your organization's efforts.
Well, thank you so much. That was a pleasure. I really enjoyed this interview, and like I say, Share Detroit, a fantastic organization, and they just happened to come along. There's a long story behind that too, but that's just another blessing, hooking up with Share Detroit. So thank you, everyone, and God bless everyone. Have a Merry Christmas and a Happy Holiday.
You as well, Thomas. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.